starting to stream. And I'm going to wait until it says go online because it always has that like moment. Okay, receiving your content shit. So as you guys know, President Trump on Friday signed the $1.3 trillion spending bill passed by Congress, despite his concerns over the price tag and immigration issues, including the lack of full funding on his long-promised border wall, in exchange for a deal on Dreamers. They created a series of documents that nobody was able to read. He complained about the 2,000-plus page bill, which Congress passed. Most members didn't even have time to read it. Now, this is something I said before the stream started, and I heard that Chuck Schumer was very happy about this spending bill.
When Chuck Schumer's happy, it's not good.
Exactly. If Schumer is happy about it, I'm not going to be happy about this.
It's not good.
So the first thing we have here, and if Seth, I'm going to have Seth, I'm going to have you read off what's on the screen if you're ready.
So I'll go on the YouTube and see it.
Oh, well, hurry up and get there because God bless you all. Thank you.
I thought I didn't believe in God. Oh.
And it's up on screen.
My God, the dark gods of chaos, by all means, yes.
So this is
okay. I'm ready.
Just kidding.
Okay, so this is one of the things that the bill has in on it.
The bill bumps up funding for both U.S. Customs and Border Protection and for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, delivering increases sought by the Trump administration. But there's significant restrictions on how that new money can be spent. Democrats push for and won limitations on hiring new ICE interior enforcement agents and on the number of undocumented immigrants that the agency can detain. Under the provisions written into the bill, ICE can have no more than 40,354 immigrants in detention by the time the fiscal year ends in September. But there is a catch. The Homeland Security Secretary is granted discretion to transfer funds from the other accounts as necessary to ensure the detention of aliens prioritized for removal.
So, as he was reading this, I'm thinking, how is this good for us?
Again, Chuck Schumer likes it. It's not good.
And this is another thing that really gets to me, right? The whole thing, like right now, it says, the White House at the last minute asked for $25 billion for a border wall, which was reduced to only $1.6 billion in the deal. Why would Trump sign this if he wasn't getting anything out of it?
So
Seriously.
It was stupid. Like he says he's considering vetoing it, but then he signs and he says, "I'm never going to sign a bill like that again." Like, why even sign in the first place?
Exactly. Like why would you sign a bill that you're not even comfortable with? And not only that, it's like what, 1.3 trillion. Now, as I was doing my research last night, I was looking up, what is inside this bill, right? Okay, that's not it.
If Congress didn't even read the whole thing.
No, Congress didn't even read the whole thing at all, right?
I don't know why.
Because I think they're stupid. Why?
The rhinos and Democrats. We need to get real conservatives in there.
Exactly. Really, okay, listen to this. This is something that's on the screen right now. The National Institute of Health gets a $3 billion funding increase. The Census Bureau will get another $1.34 billion, a Democrat priority, and it's just like all this shit. The bill includes the Stop School Violence Act of 2018, a measure to increase grants for security training, metal detectors, stronger locks, emergency notifications, and other provisions meant to improve school safety. It has passed the House by an overwhelming bipartisan margin earlier this month. So basically, the majority of these funds, the $1.3 trillion, is basically going to bullshit. Things that aren't even what the Americans wanted in the first place.
The Democrats don't care, and I'm really disappointed in Trump. He's changed a lot since the Parkland shooting.
I think he has too.
Yes.
He's gotten a little more anti-gun, too much for my taste.
Yeah, more anti-gun. He wants tariffs and this bill they just signed, despite not even wanting to.
But see, like why would he do it though? You know,
I don't know.
Even if it was just to get the Democrats' asses off their back, I mean, still, why would you do it? I'd rather just listen to them bitch their asses off because I find that more amusing than signing something that's going to help them.
I mean, come on. It's really fun to listen to them cry like little bitches.
Yeah, it really is. Just sit back, grab the popcorn, get entertainment there.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, like what's the point? You know, like here's another thing that's up. You know, like as soon as it loads up, but it says, you know, Republicans wanted increased funding for Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Interior Enforcement, that is, of undocumented immigrants already here, not on the border, and an increase in the number of detention beds. The House/Senate deal included 328 additional Customs and Border Protection officers, but required ICE to cut detention beds. What does that do? What is the point of having that? You know,
I don't think it does anything.
It doesn't do shit, you know, and the Democrats are happy about this change. You know, that they're happy about this spending bill because Chuck Schumer's, you know, Chuck
there
Schumer
is something fishy.
Right, there is something fishy going on in it. You know, and I don't understand.
To be honest, if Democrats are ever happy with any kind of spending at all,
it's not a good thing.
Almost guaranteed a bad bill.
You see, the Democrats get what they wanted because what they wanted was the DACA and the Dreamers bullshit, and they got that in this bill, and it's 2,000 fucking pages long. Like, who has the time to put a bill together that's 2,000 fucking pages? Like, that's more than the fucking Bible, and like, who's gonna read through this crap? You know, and
of
then
course Congress will,
and then they sign it in the dead of night. You know, like seriously, like who's going to like want to read this shit? And Rand Paul is even against this bill, and he was like,
oh god,
no, go ahead.
I think like I heard there was something going on like with Mitch McConnell having something to do with it.
Like, bitch McConnell. This is why I said in my video that my trust for the Republicans are diminishing. Because you have Republicans in there like John McCain, bitch McConnell, like the old neocons and rhino Republicans, right?
Yes.
You have them in there, and they're basically like the never Trumpers in office. But I guess like the good thing about that is that a lot of these never Trumpers are, you know, fading away, and they're getting behind Trump's back, right? They're having his back on these many things, which is also very worrisome too.
Yeah, we need to get rid of them like in the midterms.
Yeah, like the midterms are coming up, but like I don't see like John McCain getting reelected since he has like that brain tumor that he hopefully dies from soon. But
okay,
I don't see him being reelected in office. But like a lot of these rhino Republicans in office right now, like they're heavily against Trump and the way he wants to do things. So if they're starting to side with him now, like, is it because Trump is changing? Is it because Trump is, you know, is he becoming soft on them? Like it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder.
What happened to the Trump that we love? The one that had a set of balls.
Politics.
I don't know. It seemed like they just kind of got snipped off.
I think, you know, we have to understand this about Trump. You know, he, for the most part of his life, was a
business Democrat, you know. So he it's like his issues on guns, right? You know, his policy on guns is, you know, you can't get a gun until you're 21, banning bum stocks, and it's not going to do anything. And then they have
it's just a fucking toy for gun owners, to be honest, and I really don't see any kind of practical use for using them.
Exactly. Like, I think the only time they used bump stocks was in the Las Vegas shooting, and then that's it. You know, and then, you know, he's following along with the Democrats want, which was, you know, this tough talk on gun laws and stuff, until he saw like his main audience was like very negatively looking at it, and he's like losing support. So he's kind of like rolled back on his thoughts about that. But
Trump needs to get back to normal, because if he doesn't, then he's got out of office in the next 2020 election.
No, he's not going to get out of office in 2020. Like he'll be definitely reelected no matter what, because of the tax bill.
Yes, but still, like, he probably at least lose like a pretty of his supporters because of how he's been. Like, if he doesn't change,
he actually won most of his support from gun owners, to be honest.
Exactly.
Because he wasn't following with the Democratic bullshit.
Again, I'm just saying, like, if he stays like this, then who knows?
Right. Plague, do you mind reading what's on screen?
Sure. The bill includes the Fixes NICS Act, bipartisan legislation aimed at improving the national instant criminal background check system that is used to screen U.S. gun buyers. It provides for incentives and penalties to encourage federal agencies and states to send records to the federal database in an effort to prevent the type of oversight that preceded last year's church massacre in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Democrats push for more aggressive gun laws, including universal background checks, but one only by minor concession. Language in the report accompanying the bill clarifying that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention can, in fact, conduct research into gun violence. A long-standing rider known as the Dickey Amendment, which states that no CDC funds may be used to advocate or promote gun control, has been interpreted in the past to bar such research. The amendment itself remains.
You see, the thing what I find disturbing is that, Trump is going hard on guns for the most part, and since the last the March for Our Lives bullshit that I wanted to stream and talk shit about, but I didn't want to be flagged by YouTube.
Oh, there was one in St. Louis, which I live close to. I wish I went there to go be like Flickus Talks. Have you watched him before?
Mm-mm.
Can't say I have.
Yeah, he goes to protest and interviews them, and most of the time they don't even know why they're protesting.
You see, I think, the ones who came...
class.
Yes.
What?
I'm pretty sure a lot of these school students actually just are going to these protests and marches just so they can get out of class, essentially.
Maybe.
So you have the ones trying to get out of class. You have the ones who are trying to get the fame out of this. You have the ones that don't know what's going on in terms of gun control and whatnot. And then you have
some students I know actually went to some like field trip for the school shooting about gun control. They didn't even know what they were doing. They just goodbye.
You see, like, my point is that these people have no idea what's going on in the gun control stuff, right?
I hate to go against the Parkland survivors, but my God, most of them are stupid.
You see, if they understand about guns and stuff, they would understand that actually America's actually going through a 30-year low of gun violence, and they don't see that the gun violence that is coming is usually from suicides or inner city gang violence. Like that's where the majority of your gun violence is going to come from. But they are out there marching for their lives, or marching for our lives and shit, not even knowing the statistics behind gun problems and stuff like that,
Yes.
And they're fast to follow in with the propaganda that the left continuously pumps out. Like, the guns, we need to ban these guns to be safe. We need to ban these guns so this won't happen anymore. And I did I don't know if I did a report on it, but I talked about it in my, I did do a report on it. There was another shooting in Maryland, but I think nobody died. Two kids were injured. And it turns out that the shooter got his guns illegally, or got his handgun illegally.
That just shows you they don't care about what the law says.
No, this is the thing about gun control. Gun control will not stop the criminals and the gang members from getting their guns. You're going to have Tyrone, who's on the Bloods. He's going to be like,
here's the thing. The crime they committed with that weapon was illegal to begin with. So what makes you think that they're going to listen to the laws at all?
You see, the gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens from owning guns.
Exactly.
Like they don't stop the criminals, the gang members, and the people who want to get guns illegally. Like if you look at the Maryland school shooting, this kid got his guns illegally. So it wouldn't matter if you ban guns or not. If the left got what it wanted, right? If they got what they wanted, which was full-blown gun ban, that's what they
Then I'm
want.
dead.
Right.
America's gone. I'm just going to be in some creep's basement.
But
dead.
let's say if they got it. Let's say if they got gun control, like what they really wanted, which was an outright disarmament of the Second Amendment. If they got that, it wouldn't stop gun violence. What it would do, gun violence would explode, because you have all these gang members and all these criminals and stuff. Like, the reason why the gun violence is so low in the first place is because a lot of these criminals and gang members know that the population is well armed. So the chances of that person they're going to go rob, the chances of that person that they're going to go break into the house has a gun is high, But if you take away the right of the population to own guns, you're going to have a serious problem on your hand. You're going to have a bunch of criminals saying, oh, but everybody's disarmed. We can go rob. We can go, break into people's house and not have to fear about bullets flying our way. There's another thing about the mass shooters is that they go to gun-free zones. They go to places where you're not allowed to own guns. Why? Because they don't want bullets flying in their way.
Of course. It's common sense.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you plan on just for shits and giggles, if you were like some like random killer or whatever, you wouldn't exactly go to a guy's house that can easily, you wouldn't go to like a guy's house that was like, where the guy looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger during his roid days with a fucking
machine gun,
concrete pounder or some shit from Fallout and can easily punch you into the next house over. You wouldn't do that. Or has a damn shotgun that can blow a hole in the size of you by the size of a small mug.
Yeah, because you want to kill people and you don't want
to do anything.
Right. Yeah. Like these mass shooters, there's a reason why they target out schools, clubs, concerts, you name it. They target out these places because the bullets aren't going to be flying their way. You see, what happened in the Maryland school shooting was that this kid shot 2 people. They didn't die, which is good. What was it? A school resource officer actually shot him dead. So, if the left wants to talk about keeping our kids safe, right? Like, because obviously they don't give 2 shits about it. They're using this as a moral issue. But, if they want to protect our kids truly, I think they would invest more into these school officers and whatnot. Back when I was in high school, I think we had like 3 officers at the school. So
I think I had like 2 in my middle school. They were like rarely ever there.
But another thing I think is very important about this spending bill that Trump signed on to, so quickly signed on to. He kind of backed up. He's like, oh, I'm going to veto it, but I'm going to sign it anyway. It's like, what are you going to do? Make up your mind. Is immigration.
Exactly.
Yeah. You see, like my channel does very, very well on talking about immigration issues.
Yes, you love the heck out of that stuff.
I love talking about deportations and immigration. I love discussing ICE, arresting hundreds of people. It gets my rocks off. It gets my rocks off, essentially, right? The thing is, in this new spending bill, out of everywhere I looked up, and any article I looked at, it didn't say anything specifically about funding ICE and their research, the equipment, the operations. It talks about nothing about funding these people, right? Nothing at all talks about funding them at all. And, Trump's made his bread and butter on the border wall, immigration, and jobs, right? That's his bread and butter right there.
Now he seems to be turning his back.
In the new spending bill, he got 1.6 billion on the wall, despite him needing
25 billion he requested.
Right. And then immigration officers are, they're not getting the funding they need, but what is getting funding is stupid shit, right?
Yes.
Stupid shit that is essentially, we don't need it,
Yeah.
It just helps line their paychecks. That's all they fucking care about.
Right. It doesn't help us. It doesn't, it doesn't do anything. Like, okay, let's see, a grant program for transportation projects got funded by 1.5 billion. And then you have another grant, the community development block grant gets 5.2 billion. It's like have you guys even heard about these fucking programs, right?
No.
And they're getting these billions of dollars. I read somewhere else where it was like having whatchamacallit, the public broadcasting thing got a couple billion out of that too. It's like what are we doing? Like what is Trump doing? Like, he needs to focus on jobs, immigration, and
that border wall.
That border wall. Like, I don't know if this is part of his plan. I don't know if he's trying to, like, if it's part of a strategy to do this. But $1.3 trillion is quite a bit of money, and us being conservatives, we're supposed to be conservative.
Paying for this shit, basically.
Right, but we're also conservatives at the end of the day, and a spending bill like this doesn't, like where does it go? Like I didn't find any site that actually gave me any real hard details of where this money is going. Is it going to our military? I mean, like, that would make sense since, we're basically in a new Cold War with Russia at this point, thanks to the Democrats. Is it going to schools? Is it, like, where is it going? They don't even know, because I didn't even read the fucking thing, but they signed it into law.
They really need to take their time.
It's a 2,000-page bill.
Oh, and I had to go.
All right.
All right.
But it's a 2,000-page bill.
I'll be back.
Okay, Seth. Yeah, like I said, it's a 2,000-page bill. Like, who's going to have the time to read this shit?
I don't think anyone is, really. I mean,
exactly.
Personally, just me. Though it would probably take me about 2-3 hours to read all of it at a nonstop pace.
It would take me probably like fucking 5 weeks to read all that shit.
Yeah, well, actually, in all reality, it'd probably take me 5 to 10. But anyway, I'd carefully examine that shit for the main reason as to I want to jot down little notes, is why I'm not having to go back over the whole damn thing of what exactly this would do.
Right.
Because I would want to examine that shit piece by piece. I would not want to have any kind of part of it where I didn't know what was available or what was going to happen because of it. It's like clicking, though we're all guilty of it, it's like clicking an agreement to like a website or whatever.
You didn't even read the agreement.
Unknowingly, like not even reading the agreement, and unknowingly in there it says we can install viruses and adware and spamware onto your computer with providing with your consent, and you click OK. You didn't even read over that part, and next thing you know, your computer's fried.
You see, but the thing is, this is why we elect these people to read through this bullshit. And I understand that, like, the vast majority of it is probably like a bunch of legalese bullshit anyway. Like a lot of it is probably just stupid legal shenanigans that nobody gives two shits to read about. But I think it's like the total was like 2,332 pages. It's like, it's fucking ridiculous. Who has the time in the fucking day to read through this? And then like, they don't even read through it. It's like basically like, signing in this bill, like you click the terms and service agreement. Like, just click signed. Like, that's what Trump just did, and $1.3 trillion well spent.
The pointless shit that doesn't really do anything.
And none of it, or at least such a small 1.3 billion out of 1.3 trillion is nothing compared to what we need at the border wall. Trump needs $25 billion to build it, right? I understand he's getting some money.
It's a one-time fee on top of that. It's not like we're paying it every year.
And this is like the huge problem for the Democrats. Like, $25 billion is going to put us into debt. It's not every year. It's a one-time payment. And if we look at welfare and food stamps, like, that ranks up $700 billion a year just on welfare and food stamps alone. Not to mention
if you want to bitch
Medicaid.
about spending, that's one area to look at.
Exactly. But see, a dickhead's back. What's up?
Thanks for that name. I might have to be gone for a while. My parents are trying to make me play a game.
That's fine. Have
fun with that.
I'll be in the stream 5th.
All right.
I'll be still. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
But the thing with that is that, I never understood, how Seth just totally fucked me up. Like I forgot what we were talking about. But it was the border wall. Poor Seth. Titanic Seth. But no, like we need the $25 billion for the border wall. We need funding for immigration and customs enforcement. ICE needs funding. They're doing an amazing job out there. They're literally
They really are.
If you look at what happened in California recently about the mayor who sent out like a warning to the illegal immigrants and they like ditched it. Like, they're putting their life on the line, trying to deport literally criminal illegal immigrants with rape charges, murder charges, drug charges. These are criminals. These aren't, some that they have a ticket in their name or something like that. Like, these aren't the people that ICE is dealing with. And
Kirk, I have a quick question I want to ask you, man.
What's that?
And I may even get people's opinions from the comments here from those that are watching. Since Mexico is such a very little, and I think I can honestly say this accurately, very pathetic country.
Mm-hmm. A shithole.
Wouldn't it just make sense to just, like, I'm not sure if it would cause any economical problems or legal problems with other countries, national shit. Couldn't we just invade them, take them over, and literally just extend the border to Texas? Wouldn't that just make sense?
Why would we?
I don't know, man. But we could you just destroy everything there and rebuild up. Territory.
Props. That's not going to happen. I wouldn't want to do that anyway because we would lose a lot of money, manpower, innocent, soldiers and stuff like that. It's not something we want to do. Like, we could defend ourselves against the Mexico border. Like, I remember this one story back when Obama was in office. I think the Mexico government sent out some Apache helicopter and shot up some border patrol agents and they just went back, into their country. Obama didn't do fucking anything. He didn't do a damn thing.
Dude, I'd be pretty much sending Hellfire missiles over there in a fucking heartbeat. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, motherfucker.
Like that was an act of war. A fucking Apache helicopter shooting at border patrol agents for
no reason.
Exactly. Like, that's an act of war. Like, they came into our territory and shot up our border patrol agents. That's an act of war. Yeah, I would have been sending up fucking tanks at that point, but Obama didn't do a damn thing about it. And
that's because Obama's a little ballless bitch that kept his balls in his mama's purse, or in particular his wife's purse, because she was obviously the man of the marriage.
Exactly.
That manly.
But the thing is, Obama, like nobody respected Obama. Like, he went for his last visit to China. They didn't even roll out the red carpet. Nobody met him at the airport. It was a total disrespect to him because they didn't fear him. They didn't respect him because he was weak. He was, incompetent. Like, nobody respected him. Americans didn't respect him. Other countries didn't respect him. Even EU leaders that he so happened to be buddy with, like the Angela Merkels and shit, they didn't even respect him. Putin didn't respect him. None of them did because he was weak. Trump gets in office and he changes that, and he actually has respect of China and Russia and stuff like that. He might not have respect of Angela Merkel's and shit, but they're toothless countries anyway. Like the big players on the stage right now is now America, North Korea, China, and Russia. Exactly. Like, nobody fears fucking Sweden. Nobody fears Germany.
No one fears Egypt or anything like that.
Exactly. Like, nobody fears these countries. Iran might be up on there too since they're developing nukes, but if anything, they're just going to nuke Israel. But the thing is, like, we need funding for the wall. Like, that was one of Trump's biggest campaign promises, along with immigration.
Biggest selling points, basically.
Exactly. It became a meme. Build the wall. Build the wall. It's one
Everyone
of the
chanted that at the fucking rallies too. On top of that, because that was a main. That and his attitude towards guns, that was his two main selling points with the American people.
Exactly. It became a meme. And now, like, he's kind of like not doing his best. I understand, like, I give Trump, points because, it's hard. You have to deal with the Democrats. You have to deal with these never Republicans and whatnot. I understand it's a pain in the ass just trying to deal with these people. I get it, Trump. I do. And he's 70 years old. He's an old man. But
yeah, having to deal with the Democrats, I can imagine already is a headache in its own right.
Yeah, like, he probably needs like fucking a whole fucking carton load of fucking Advil just to get through the day. You
I'd
know,
say ibuprofen works better. That's just me.
well, I think Advil and ibuprofen are kind of the same thing. But
One just works faster. Anyway.
you know, him and you know, his diet doesn't help either. Eating McDonald's all the time. I mean,
Well, dude,
I
who
don't.
the fuck doesn't like McDonald's, KFC, and shit like that, man? We're all American people here.
Yeah, but I mean, he's kind of the leader of the country, and he kind of needs to stay fit a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
still, man. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy myself. I can understand the love for that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love McDonald's. Like, don't get me wrong, I love McDonald's. But Trump, you're kind of the leader. We don't need you to stroke out anytime soon. We don't want
No,
President
we
Pence.
don't need those arteries clogged. Yeah, arteries. I don't know what the hell am I saying? We don't need arteries clogged anytime soon on our president.
But the thing is like he promised the border wall. He promised strong, and for the most part, he's been doing amazing on immigration. ICE officers are just kicking ass left and right. I'm pumping out report after report of ICE officers raiding, deporting, arresting criminal illegals, non-criminal illegals alike. They're doing their job. But for them to do that, they need funding. That they need funding for that. Like if Trump gave, you know, the immigration agencies at least a couple billion, maybe 3 billion, I would be happy. I would be happier than a pig eating shit. But
Yeah,
it didn't say anything in these in anything I read on the of what's going on. Like, what does the funding go to? It doesn't say anything about any of these funds being diverted to ICE officers, their operations, and immigration agents. You know,
yeah.
doesn't show anything about it. It just shows, you know, funding stupid shit, funding fucking DACA, you know, supporting the Dream Act and stuff. Like, it doesn't show anything about what we need to be focused on.
None of it's towards shit that actually matters, like taking care of the vets, dealing with the border wall. Or at least if it does pertain to any of those things, it's about as minimal as fucking possible. Or more importantly, trying to make schools safe and shit like that. They honestly could give zero fucks about that.
Exactly.
I mean, speaking of that, I don't mean to divert from the topic, but when it comes to schools and shit, here's my question when it comes to the whole aspect of security for those that are against it. We protect stupid ass celebrities, which honestly I don't see the fucking point of protecting them. They're fucking celebrities. Who gives a shit about them? They die one day from whatever the hell. People are, oh, so sad, and can move on with their fucking lives like literally a week later. Nothing. They're happen to be famous and well known. What the fucking do?
Exactly.
I mean, we have security for politicians, especially ones that preach fucking gun control. In case you haven't noticed, they have like almost double the guards of like most people. It's like most fucking security areas. We guard banks and everything else in between. We guard all kinds of stupid shit, but not our children. Why?
Right.
Why not put security in schools where shit like this happens? And my question is, when it comes to the whole aspect of schools, I think 3 things that would stop this shit. At least the second one would at least encourage to stop it. Security guards and metal detectors, anti-bullying programs like severe, harsh punishment for kids that bully kids, period, and psychiatric help for those that get bullied severely.
Right.
I think honestly that would just be 3 things that would help eliminate that shit. And as far as the aspect of bullying goes, I know I'm getting heavily sidetracked, but I really want to say this real quick. As far as the aspect of bullying goes, like the whole cyber shit, just log the fuck off. Block them, log the fuck off, call them a dickhead or whatever the hell you need to do, and just get the fuck off the device. Get the fuck off the device or website or whatever the hell you're doing. You don't need to put up with their shit. It's not like you're forced to sit there. Just shut it off. Go do something else. Play outside or whatever the fuck you got to do.
I think the things that we need to focus on to stop these school attacks, you know, school shootings and whatnot, it's like the Maryland school shooting that the left obviously is not talking about. But what happened there was that this school shooter, he shot 2 people. They ended up surviving, and the school resource officer shot him dead before he could shoot somebody else. So what we need...
Funny how that's not getting a lot of media coverage, really.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
It
Especially...
doesn't fit the fucking liberal narrative. Like, oh, and I can almost bet you that they're calling the officer racist or some shit.
The thing
Whatever
is,
the fuck the word is.
the school shooter got his guns illegally, and he was stopped by a school resource officer. So of course that's not going to fit into their narrative of banning guns, because like we were talking about, if we end up banning guns, it wouldn't have stopped this school shooting because he got his guns illegally. So the liberal left is ignoring this story, and they're continuing.
Well, yeah, it's the fact that he got his guns illegally. It's just supporting the fact that guns save more lives than they do destroy them.
Right.
Everything, every tool, any object, everything is there for a reason. Well, I wouldn't say everything's there for a reason, but everything is technically there for one reason or another, for one use or another, or it's just existing in nature. Any object in the hands of a man, whether that be paper, but just a standard computer, a fucking box fan like I got in my room here, a coffee mug, whatever the hell, even nail clippers or a toothpick, all of which can be deadly in the wrong hands.
Exactly.
Any object. I mean, what are you gonna do if they fucking ban guns? It's gonna go to knives. They ban knives. Oh,
homemade bombs.
Like either of those two are really gonna fucking do anything. They're gonna go to bombs. Bombs are already banned, so that doesn't fucking work. You know, and then it just goes to fucking sticks and rocks.
No, like
we ban the use of sticks and rocks. Then you go to the hands. What the fuck are you gonna do? Cut off people's hands now? People are still gonna attack with the stubs that they have and the legs and everything else, dude. You're not gonna prevent people from killing each other, no matter what the fuck you do. You can at least reduce the rate at which people kill each other, but you're not gonna stop it entirely. It's physically impossible. Since the dawn of, if you believe in the whole evolution factor, since man was Neanderthal to now, people have known how to kill each other. It's just a factor that's just gonna keep happening no matter what you do, sadly.
We haven't came that far from Neanderthals in the first place, but the thing is that yes, it's in fact humans are not going to stop killing each other just because you ban guns. You see, Europe has a problem with, they obviously don't have the Second Amendment, and you know, they're getting ran over, they're getting stabbed to death, you know, they're getting fucking blown up because of these the Muslims, the refugees that are there, they're creating homemade bombs. So just because they don't have guns doesn't mean that these people can't commit mass murder. You know, if you ban guns, you know, it's either the next school shooters are going to get the guns illegally, like the one in Maryland did, that the left is not talking about.
Or it'd be a knife or a rock or a big heavy stick or a baseball bat, dude. It doesn't matter what the hell you ban. People are going to kill people no matter what the fuck you do.
Exactly. And
if it's not one object, it's another.
Exactly. You know, it's just it's a ploy to ban guns because the left sees as guns are scary. You know, and the point of the matter is that, you know, it doesn't matter what they do. They cannot stop violence. And if you really want to stop violence, is make the population more armed. Give people more guns to defend themselves. We see this happening. You know, if we look at a state like Vermont, you know, like so many, like the majority of the population in that state has guns. It has the lowest gun violence crime in the fucking country. Well, why is that? You know, because criminals aren't going to go rob somebody if they think, oh, this person might have a gun on them. They might shoot me back. I'm not going to go break into this person's house because as soon as I come into the window, there might be a shotgun in my face. You know,
as they say, an armed society is polite society.
Exactly. But the left, it believes that, you know, the left wants to be more like Europe for some fucking odd reason in terms of, you know, their obviously censorship and the view on guns. Like they want to be more of a European system. More guns are the only solution. Yeah, that's right. You know, like when a person commented, more guns are the only solution. Exactly. We need to have more guns in order to protect our society. If not, then we run the risk of becoming like fucking Europe, you know, and I don't want to become like Europe. You know, people are literally being arrested for wrongthink. You know, if I was in the UK right now and I published this live stream, I would be in handcuffs. You know, it's like you had this hate speech. You know, like how dare you? You know, the Queen won't like this at all. You know, it's bullshit. You know,
in our case, you're going against what the damn liberal left wants, or in this case, they're trying. See what the liberal left are trying to do. Not just liberals, but Democrats as well. The same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
What they're trying to do, they're trying to get it to where they have a system of the Big Brother's watching you system,
Exactly.
where anything you say or do, like they say, anything you say or do will be held against you in the court of law. In this case, anything you say or do that we don't like, we could just throw you in fucking prison or just basically literally just erase you from history.
Exactly.
And anyone that remembered you just gone.
Exactly. And it's very
That's what they're trying to establish.
It's very communistic of them to try to pull something like this, because they want, I think the end game of liberals and progressives and shit like that is to be a socialist a nation, like a Venezuela. They want to be, they want to be socialized. This is why you saw Bernie Sanders get such a huge support that he did, because the left wants socialism. That they can't say that they want socialism because that they would lose so many fucking support in this society, because people don't want socialism, because we see what socialism does. Socialism destroys the country that it so happens to be in host of. It's like a fucking parasite. Whatever country is the host, it eventually dies because it can't sustain itself, right? And this is what the left wants. And we've all heard this. That's not real socialism. They didn't do it right. Venezuela isn't doing it right in terms of how socialism is supposed to work. But the end game is still the same. The end result is still the same. The country is going to fail. The country is going to fucking collapse because socialism just cannot work. It's been tried over and over again. It just does not work, And this is what the left wants. And in order for them to get that, one of the prize things they need to do is disarm the population. You think the people in Venezuela had guns? They don't. You think people in the USSR, communist Russia had guns? They fucking didn't. And the reason for that is because it's easier to control a population when that population can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
This is what the left wants. I mean, it's Alex Jones conspiracy theory mode, but if you put the pieces together, it's only they're for Bernie Sanders, which is a socialist, a self-proclaimed democratic socialism, which just means that you elect the dictator instead of him taking power. You just elect him.
Yeah, it's just like the case over in Russia. The elections are just pretty much there for just show. They're kind of a fucking joke.
Yeah, exactly. Like Putin mysteriously wins his 5th fucking term, and his opponent mysteriously disappears. Yeah, sure. But the thing, I like Putin, but let's make no mistake about it. He's no fucking saint by a long shot. Exactly. And the thing is this is how they do it. If you have a disarmed populace, it's easier to control them, because if the people in Venezuela had guns, if they had a Second Amendment, you would see fucking militias growing in there like fucking World War style, And this is why America's never been invaded either, because not only do the invaders have to worry about the military, they have to worry about the fucking general public having weapons and being a threat to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the one thing that I constantly stress is the fact that look at the government, if you even want to really call it that. Look what the fuck happened with fucking Hitler during the time of during the rising of the Nazi Party.
Right.
One of his sayings was that we hope that every country follows with us in removing guns from society, to help make for pretty much a peaceful utopia. And it's awfully funny how he had fucking Hitlery over here damn near saying the same shit.
Exactly.
And that's a thing. Everyone's asking the same question. Why would you want to disarm a society unless you plan on taking over that society?
Exactly.
And it's just a simple fucking thing there. It's like you wouldn't want to say, for example, like you had some fucker break into your house with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, you shoot the asshole with the fucking firearm that you may or may not possess.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, well, oh well, you're mentally insane because you shot the guy, so let's just fucking remove your right to own a gun. Well,
Exactly.
you're disarming the person who is in the right. He's defending his house. So why would you? And that's the kind of logic that they're trying to do here. They're trying to go with the aspect of let's disarm the people that are in exactly to disarm a fucking person who's completely in the right here does nothing. And I don't mean that from a political analogy. I mean just like from strictly morals. The guy's just defending his fucking house from some random asshole
Hmm.
that decided to break in. It's fucking castle doctrine.
Exactly.
And that I don't get the point of why you want to disarm a society if you don't plan on taking over it. Why disarm a poor bastard that tries to defend his house and do right and obey laws and everything else if they're the ones that are the fucking victims of all this shit? We have the Second Amendment for not just the fucking militia or anything like that. No, it's to prevent from a tyrannical government.
Exactly. The
And it's
second.
awfully funny how they say, well, oh, we're not trying to take away your guns. Yet that's exactly the same thing that fucking damn near Hitler did. He's, like you said, to have it posted up there to conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens.
Exactly.
That's what the fuck they're trying to do. You
And-
compare the two, it's not hard to draw the connection.
And see, a lot of people don't even know what the Second Amendment actually it states.
Everything's always interpretations.
Exactly. Like a lot of people believe the Second Amendment is just hillbilly nation. They don't understand because they're a bunch of hillbillies. But then many of them don't even read the Second Amendment. A lot of them don't even know what the Second Amendment even fucking says. Let me put it up on screen here.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, dickhead?
I love that nickname.
So a lot of them don't even know what the Second Amendment actually is, and it's for the point of the Second Amendment is to protect these citizens from a tyrannical government that wants to take it over.
Yep.
That's the main reason. And even Hitler tried to disarm his citizens. And I mean, it's not like Germany had ever had guns in the fucking first place. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. But the idea is that to control a citizenship, to control the population, they can't think for themselves, which is where propaganda comes in, and they can't defend themselves. This is why disarming them is so important. It's about control. It's about controlling the peasants. This is what socialism practices on. And a lot of leftists don't even know that the Nazi Party was actually known as the National Socialist Party of Germany. National Socialist Party of Germany. But a lot of them, ironically and conveniently forget that they were the socialists in the first place.
Yet then you have the assholes that are like, oh, I'm a proud socialist.
So you're saying you're a literal Nazi,
Basically, and they're calling us a Nazi.
Yeah, and you're proud of ruining people's lives.
Exactly. Yes, Hitler did nothing wrong, Seth. We know this. Hitler did absolutely nothing wrong, though, in terms of the Jews and stuff. He was wrong on economics, but
yes, but he didn't do anything wrong with the Jews.
He didn't do anything wrong with the Jews.
God.
But
I've seen so many jokes where people, in a case like the furries and shit like that, it just said Hitler had the right idea with the genocide, just the wrong people.
Oh God.
I actually I knew a friend in high school. He's a brony now. And I was like, oh man, that's just it's so sad. So sad.
Yep.
But it is what it is, people, they're just nasty.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them clop to they call it cloppers, and they literally, are getting off to that kind of stuff.
I call them cancer sores.
Cancer sores. But yeah, I think we've about covered everything in the stream.
So I wasn't here for most of the part.
Yeah, because
that's all right, man.
Playing around, but it's all right. There's going to be more. Don't worry about it.
It was just Trump's bill, and then you guys were talking about gun rights.
Hitler and stuff like that, or, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we covered everything in the stream so far, and I'm gonna have bits of the stream like uploaded, like, you know, best bits and stuff and whatnot. So I'm gonna
just to reduce the time.
Exactly. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so that's it for this week.